Hello and welcome. It is 10:30 on a Wednesday night, and it is time for some more Untold Chronicles. Tonight we move to episode 5 of The Dredges. Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us. Let us firstly see if everything is working. It seems to be once again. As usual, we'll do some quick hellos and thank yous, and then we will dive straight in. These games are all too short, only an hour and a half. So, first of all, thank you to everybody who is in chat at the moment and watching live. Really appreciate you joining us at this late hour. We also don't want to forget. If you're watching video on demand or YouTube, thank you very much as well for supporting us there, and give us a sneaky follow and sub if you can. It really helps our sort of metrics if you like what we're doing. And thank you to our players for joining us. We'll introduce them in a second, but without them there would be no show. And of course, we have to say a big thank you to Hero Forge. Many of the character images are designed using Hero Forge, a wonderful way to create your own custom miniatures, get them 3D printed. You can find them at www.heroforge.com. Please note that anything mentioned on the stream may not represent the view or beliefs of Hero Forge, a Sky Castle Studios LLC product. I say it every stream. They've been very generous and allowed us to use their images, so a big thank you to them. And they are super cool. Go and check them out. You can buy your 3D file and get them 3D printed, or you can order them direct from them. So I think that is all of the hellos and thank yous. Just as a reminder, you can support the stream and give your favourite characters or even myself a vantage through Heroic Action Points HAP. Each subscriber to the Twitch stream gets a monthly HAP to give away, as well as one when they sub or resub. You can also get them for donations as well, retweets and follows. Find out more in the Untold Chronicles channel in our Discord. So we are using those rules and homebrew rules tonight in case anybody wants to use it. Everything resets at the start of the calendar month, so if you are subscribers, you can donate and maybe save our characters from fates worse than death. Right, we will move on to our players though. This is just a quick hello and welcome, and for you to introduce yourself. We'll start off with you, David. Hello and welcome.
Hello, mate. I'm Jerry, Jerb's house on Discord and Twitch, and tonight I'll be playing David.
Excellent stuff. And you have just pointed out on chat, a big shout out to Miss Blackthorn for working her backside off for the past few days behind the scenes, doing fancy ground stuff for people as well. And definitely, she's not been feeling 100%. So we send her much love and wishes and a big thank you. Well put there, sir. Well put there. Then we come to Clyde.
Hello, I'm Barry and I'll be playing Clyde.
Very good. And then we go to DeFago.
Hello, I'm Michael the Grey in chat and Discord, and I'm playing DeFago.
Excellent. And last but not least, only because of the way that Fancy Grounds has loaded up the characters tonight, Pectinus.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'll be playing Pectinus Fruit.
A beautiful name. Absolutely wonderful. So a little bit of a recap. The Dredges far to the north of the smoke. A number of border settlements before you reach the white, the tundra, and the ice fields where very little survives. They are the ends of the world, and it does feel like it. They're not called the Dredges without meaning. The names hope, paradise, Silver Springs, sort of conjure up beautiful images. People that travel here, they're refugees and those seeking either an escape from misdemeanors or maybe a new life, soon find that they are a long way away from paradise or hope when they arrive here. Our protagonists have got themselves wrangled up in a murder mystery. Not so much of a mystery, they kind of know who's done it. The only problem is convincing people of hope of who the true purveyor of the crime is. They have, though, done a very clever jailbreak, and the wrongly incarcerated wife of the Smith and her son have been smuggled out of Hope into nearby woodland, and they have found a relatively safe place to keep them safe whilst they decide what they are going to do next. I will just sort this map out properly for you all. I'll share it first and then we'll put your tokens on. You managed to get here and you encountered an individual. I believe it was one of your contacts, Clyde, was that correct?
Yeah, sort of contact.
Yeah.
He rescued me the last time I was bleeding in the
Yeah.
forest.
And he's taken you in, offered you some solid hospitality. You will probably have to zoom in here and into you. Just this is just a quick visual, and there you are. So you have asked for hospitality for Verla Christie and her son Elwood, the wife and son of Sullivan Christie, who was hideously murdered by one of these husk type creatures. He has agreed to such, and now you need to decide what your next course of action is. And I think this is where we will open up the scene for tonight. The four of you taking some nice kind of broth and soup in this sanctuary amongst the dredges, talking quietly as the others sleep about what your next move is going to be. Or maybe just staring at each other in awkward silence.
Let's move on then.
Where do you suggest we move on to figure?
Some things just need killing. Makes the sound like a creaky opening door and footsteps going down creaky ladder.
Seems you've made
We
up
should
your
go
mind.
after Hagan.
Well, I know we're like from a little place in the middle of nowhere, but we thought all you like clerics were out for killing undead and things like that.
Yeah, we always one for killing undead, aren't we, Peximus?
Yes. I mean, if there are undead, then that will need doing.
The natural
Sounds
order
like-
must be preserved.
Defargo looks around at everybody, who seems to be in agreement, smiles, makes some snoring noises, and points at a corner of this burrow. Is it, Andy?
Yeah, it's kind of it's almost like a little hobbity type hole, really. It's actually furnished, but it's very rustically furnished. But it's comfortable. There is place if you wanted to try and take either a short or a long rest here. you could easily be able to do that here, and you have been given the hospitality of Wintergrim, so you don't have any worries really. But of course, it is up to you at the end of the day whether you wish to do this.
From where we
Well,
are, Andy, roughly how far are we from that shack which we nearly investigated and then decided we wouldn't?
You are probably maybe 2-3 hours away from Hope itself, so it's not a massive distance.
I'll
Okay.
ask Instagram and Sylvan if you'd mind if we rested up.
He kind of sniffs and sort of looks at you. He replies in Sylvian, but of course, brother, you have my hospitality. Please bed down on the needles and rest well and breathe in the earth. It will refresh you.
I'll reach into my pocket and I'll give him a lollipop.
It's candy is not for me, I am afraid. It is a route to my teeth falling out. But I appreciate the gesture.
With the proper dental care, you can eat as much candy as you like. Or I'd take your point. Put it back in my pocket.
It is not the best, but I am I am very happy with you at least trying to gift me something. But be careful. It is bad for you. I will leave. I will forage, and I will get some things that might be able to aid you. And he says, "You will be safe here." And he kind of leaves the burrow and heads out into the snowy forest.
Okay, be safe.
So did you want to take any kind of rest here?
I mean, if it's only a few hours from Hope, then I can't imagine we're far into the day.
Not at all. I think you decided to leave in the night time, didn't you?
Yeah.
So it's now it's kind of late. If you wait it for night to fall, it gets dark here quite early, round about 4-5 o'clock. You could have probably snuck out by 8-9 o'clock. It's probably now only about midnight realistically, and you've made good time and you're in a safe location.
I'd recommend we take up DeFarco's idea and spend the night.
Very well.
If anyone's tailing us, then they're going to have to deal with the other things that dwell in these woods.
Are we agreed that you want to take an 8-hour rest?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, seems sensible.
Wintergrim returns. He's kind of muttering to himself, but you do get the benefits of a long rest, gaining your hit points back, any hit dice, and any abilities. You get up, and again, there's a different kind of broth for breakfast that he kind of passes out. And then he says to you, I foraged in the woods last night. I don't know what trouble that you have got yourself in, but please accept these as he hands these out to you. He doesn't. He does give you one each, really. If you go to the party sheet, you'll see exactly what that he's giving you. These are good. These are good. They will. If you are wounded, chew these. They will make you much better.
They're all a medicine check.
Yeah.
If I recognise what these are. Okay.
Absolutely, go for it. Yeah, you kind of look at them and you think that they are probably naturally occurring, quite difficult to sort of forage for. You probably need some sort of very clever knowledge or maybe even fey abilities, but they're kind of enhanced good berries, and they will act quite simply as potions of healing. So they will restore 2d4 plus 2 hit points to you. And there are 4 of them, so 1 each. Dorvid has taken 1, Defago's taken 1, Pectinus has taken 1. I believe that's 1 for you, Clyde, as well, should you wish it. There we go. And he says, just in case it looks like, and I know you only too well, it looks like you are getting yourselves into some kind of trouble for good reasons. These will help you on your way. Don't swallow them whole though, make sure you chew them.
Thank you,
Them
Wintergreen.
whole, don't chew them. Yes, thank you.
He smiles. These 2 here, you wish me to provide for them until you return?
Yes, please.
Hell
We
yeah.
don't want them to be found by the people from town.
I enjoy company, and we will swap tales and the like. I'm sure the time will pass very rapidly. I'm sure you will not be too long in your exploits.
Instagram.
Yes.
Did you find any evidence of anyone else crawling through the woods
Oh, the
while
woods.
she was out foraging?
If you look carefully, the woods are full of mysteries, both dark and not. But you will be safe. Go back, do what you need to do. Do not worry too much. The Winter Grim has spoken. The word has been carried on the wind as it whispers, and you will have, for a while at least, safe passage through these woods.
Okie dokie. Thank you very much for your time.
If I may ask, the candy that you offered last night,
Yeah.
maybe just the one?
I give it to him.
Thank you.
It's a drumstick. So it's one of the chewy ones.
Just the one. Yes, I don't need
Yeah.
any more. I will treasure it.
Take your time. Take your time with it.
Chew,
Enjoy
don't
it.
swallow.
Yeah.
And with that, you feel confident enough that he's able to look after and provide for your wards, and it's just a case of heading back around the outskirts of Hope and refinding this this hidden, potentially lodgings where this murderer has secreted himself. It's not going to take any rolls to do. You've already been there, and you know it's on the estates of the mayor of Hope, Boyd. So it's not going to be a problem. If you're going to go straight there, it's going to take you a couple of hours. So you get there if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. One thing I want to clarify.
Yep.
Is Pectinus will ask the group essentially, when we get there, are we going to try and sneak in, or are we just barreling in? Like, I want to know whether I should wear my armor or avoid clinking.
Ideally, it'd be nice if you could wear your armor and avoid clinking.
Defargo will
I
point
don't
at
think
Clive
I'm
and
quite.
himself and make finger moving leg gestures ahead, and then point at the two clerics and make further finger moving gestures slightly behind.
Okay, I'll give
Okay.
that a go.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So you very rapidly, 2 hours easily kills it, and it's kind of strange, really. You notice that you are being watched by some of the wildlife, and in many ways, some of them seem to be guiding you through the forest. Some of them seem to be making sure that it's safe, and you see no dangerous creatures, and it speeds the journey up no end. And eventually you are a small distance away from the small raised kind of shack that you saw before upon the estate, the back end of the estate of the Boyds.
So, can we carefully look out for traps as we make our way over, as
Yeah.
we pretty much know where they all are from last time?
Yeah, and you weren't spotted. I mean, give us a survival roll on, or investigation, or indeed perception with advantage, just to see if one of you makes a very awkward mistake. You shouldn't do. One of you can just give us the roll if you want, and you can choose any of those 3 abilities. Who wants to do that?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
It's all
So
my fault.
just give us a roll
So
with
Defargo's going
advantage.
to do survival.
Perfect. I mean, you know where these things are before, and it's only been a day or so, and you weren't spotted. And yeah, and you just easily. It's not any kind of real challenge. You can get as close to the entrance to this place as you really want to, really, without causing any traps to go. So you find yourself investigating the door to this very small sort of shack.
Yep.
Yep.
Can I carefully open the door? I'll double check that they haven't put
Yep.
on any more traps since we got there last.
So
but-
give me an investigation roll to double check this door first of all.
cast guidance on him.
Yeah, if I'd like you to explain how you are giving that guidance.
But to be honest, I accidentally rolled with advantage anyway. But I think even without,
Well, guidance is only a D4 and not advantage.
Okay, no worries.
But you don't think there's trapped. You think it's all good. The door is wood. It's kind of reinforced a little bit, but this is designed to be kind of discreet. It doesn't look like it's a fortified door. In fact, it looks like a small garden shed, if anything, really. I mean, you can't hear anything from within it. It's quite quiet. You certainly wouldn't fit very many people in here. It's literally maybe 5 foot by 10 foot.
I'll carefully open the door. I remember it was a little squeaky last time.
It is a little squeaky. Have you got any thieves' tools or anything like that on you?
I have both thieves' tools and tinker's
Yeah.
tools.
So thieves' tools does include kind of a small oil can, some special WD-40. So you can just kind of oil those hinges a little bit, and that certainly is going to go a distance to helping. So give me a either stealth or sleight of hand. I'll let you choose which one. It's not even locked, this. They are not expecting anybody to come here. 15 is good. It opens silently. And as you peer in, as the light sort of streams down, you see why it's so quiet. This shed is covering up a hole cut into the ground, and there are steps, wooden steps, going down into the earth. And you can see well, you can't see the chamber, but you can see the glow of torches coming from a lower chamber, and you can hear quiet voices sort of chatting down there. It must be a little distance away.
I'm presuming the Fargo and I are heading down quietly.
Okay.
Before anyone goes down, I
Mhm.
just put my hand out to hold them back a second. Just mutter, what's our plan here? Are we just going to attack the guards? Are we going to try and bribe them to go away? Are you sneaking in? Are you going to try and convince them that you belong here and that you can just go and talk to Maurice Hagen?
Defargo will look at Clyde.
Clyde will say, some things just have to die.
Defargo nods, points at his bow, and makes a throat-slitting gesture.
And I'll just say, we'll shout if and when we need help.
Okay, so what I need is both of you to give me stealth rolls as you creep down these stairs. Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice.
Very good. You do indeed get down. It's not particularly far, but it goes relatively deep, and it opens up into a rough and ready chamber. You can see that there are 4 of Boyd's boys chatting, kind of laughing. Certainly 2 of you might even have recognised the faces around town. They are wearing the strips of cloth that seem to indicate that these are loyal to the mayor of the town and are not beyond breaking a bone or two, or even worse, to protect the interests of Mayor Boyd. They are not talking about anything in particular. It is common and it is just general debauchery. They are armoured and they are armed. These are obviously guards. You haven't been noticed, and that is what you see.
So where we are, is that near the bottom of the stairs, Andy?
The stairs go this way and then down here to there. But you can see over the balcony, which is why you can see these here, hopefully. I'm assuming you can see everything.
Yep.
As I say, they've not seen you yet.
How far is it from the balcony down to the floor?
From where you are, it's probably about 10 foot. It probably rises about another 10 foot up to the shed. So Dorvid and Pectinus is about 10 feet away from you at the moment.
Can I point to Boyd's Boy 1 and tap my chest and point to Boyd's Boy 2 and point at Clyde?
Mm-hmm.
Not Clyde, that's me. Point at Defargo.
It's getting confused then.
Yep.
Oh, matter.
Okay.
Fargo will grin as much as a beak can grin, which I'm still having trouble with.
Yes, beaks, well known for their ability to show facial expressions. Okay, so what's your plan, sort of out of character? Are you both wanting to? You're going to be attacking from hidden, so you will be attacking with advantage. And because I am a generous GM, I will allow both of you to shoot simultaneously before we go into combat. I will remind you that we're using homebrew rules, so if you do manage to get more than 10 more than their armor class, it will also count as a critical hit. So it's up to you. Bearing in mind that we will then go to initiative and, well, they will react however they will react.
Well, I was planning that if we go for the two nearest and then maybe retreat back towards Dorvid and Pectinus when they come after us, if necessary.
Okay, you can give me intelligence rolls if you want. This looks like there's quite a lot of, you can see that there's a door here and there's a door here. You kind of see there's a chamber here as well. If you were to just do a quick hit and run like this, these boys might not just chase after you randomly. They might just rally anybody that is down here as well. You do run that danger of alerting the entirety of the Boyd's safe house, but that is a chance if you wish to take it, that you can take it. I mean, if you want, you can easily retreat back now and have conversations with your other companions about what you have seen so far without giving the game away.
Yeah, I think Defago's going to sort of nudge Clyde and motion upstairs because he doesn't I can't see the door to the north. He doesn't like the fact that there's two ways out here. One of them's quite wide, and he's not convinced that he can take out 4 people in the time it takes for them to run a short distance and shout.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's interested to see why Pectinus is talking in machine code. To whom?
Okay, so I'll keep you on the map, but it's easy enough for you to retreat those 10 feet, and you catch up with Pectinus and Dorvid to have conversations.
Well, I think we explained the lay of the land. I mean, ideally, we could do with getting Pectinus and Dorvid down there quietly.
Easier said than done. I can try. How wide is the corridor leading up to the room?
It's about sort of 7 feet across. The stairs going down. You can just about easily squeeze 2 people next to each other. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's doable.
So is
So-
Dorvid wearing ring mail?
Dorvid is wearing chain, I think.
So he could
Pectinus is
potentially-
scale.
He is quite little, isn't he? We could maybe wrap a cloak around his upper half, so he's just his legs to worry about.
You're gonna wrap me up like a kid who's just had a bath.
Yeah, pretty much.
I look at Pectinus and I say in halfling, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I mean, I'd have just as much trouble as you, so they'd have to wrap us both up.
It's more smothering than wrapping. Actually, that doesn't help, does it?
Hang on, we've already had one person smothered in this. That's what started this whole thing off.
But I was thinking maybe if we could try and keep you a little bit quieter, we could maybe go for a group stealth check.
Wow. Look at this. As you are gaming the game here. I will more than happy allow you to have a group stealth check. This means that you all need to make stealth rolls, and it means that you need to have half of the party succeed. Which is good. It works in my mind cinematically in the fact that you are helping sort of move down. So if you wish to go for that, that is absolutely fine as far as I am concerned.
Defargo will point at Clyde and then at himself and point at Clyde, making a hushing gesture with his finger to his beak and pointing at the other 2 and putting thumbs up, then pointing at himself and make a gesture with the bow and point to where he was before.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
Fair
give
enough.
it a go.
So are you all going to try and creep down?
Well, Defargo's
Yeah.
taking point.
Okay.
So
The way this fundamentally works is I do need a stealth roll off all of you. Those of you who do have disadvantage will still have disadvantage, but the smothering and the trying to help them is the reason why you can have the group stealth check rather than just individual stealth checks. You can guidance yourself if need be, but you can only guidance one person in this case per person who can concentrate on guidance. If you see what I mean.
I'll cast guidance on myself.
Okay,
So will I.
yeah, that is absolutely fine as well. So best of luck with this as you begin to creep down. So everybody give me a stealth roll. This is a group stealth. Wow, it's looking not so bad.
Thank you.
Oh no, that's disadvantages, isn't it? It's not looking. Oh dear. The 27,
Yes,
without a doubt, is going to be it's going to be a success. It's going to be more than a success, Clyde. That is a critical success. The 16 doesn't count because
Nope.
that's the larger number. So we go with the 5, but you did get a 3, so that is an 8, which is a fail. The 4 and the 4 is also an 8, which is a fail. Neither of which is a critical fail, though. You'd be pleased to know. DeFargo, the question is a 13 a success or not? And I'm afraid the answer is no. But Clyde's critical success mitigates that and turns it into a success. So by the very skin of your teeth, you have managed to descend down here.
That's a relief. I was thinking I'd maybe gone so quietly because I was hidden by all the clanky noises.
Fundamentally, yes. It seems that they are sort of in their cups a little bit. They are drinking. The DC for level 2, the base DC for level 2 is a 14. Oops, let me make it so you can move around. So you can kind of get either onto the steps. You can move further down if you want. You haven't been noticed yet, but it is that moment in sort of movies or computer games where the guards go, "Wait, did you hear that?" And they all turn and look, and then you all just suddenly freeze and duck down and let's get
Must
on
have
with
been the
it.
wind.
And they just turn back, and yeah, by the skin of your teeth. But well done. Okay, so did you want to move further down, or did you want to take advantage of the slightly higher ground here?
I'm happy to stay up here.
So is DeFargo.
It's all under this group stealth roll, so I will allow you to get to the bottom of the steps fundamentally, or as far as the bottom of the steps if you want to, without having to make a second stealth roll. So you can position yourselves anywhere on the steps, so anywhere along here or on this bit here.
Okay.
Can I see over this banister?
Absolutely, you can see what you can see. There is a line of sight on these maps, so if you can see it, you can see it.
All right. Okay.
So is everybody happy sort of from there? And because you've succeeded, I'm going to give you a surprise round, which means you all get to act before I ask for initiatives as well. I'm feeling very generous tonight. God dear, something must be wrong with me.
There's a dragon in the next room.
Shh. Okay, you found me out. Okay, so let's just get down to it, because you are going to do this. So Clyde, what are you going to do? Let's get rid of guidance from you as well, because you don't need it anymore. Clyde, what is you've got your entire turn, so it's not just like a single attack. You can choose what else you're going to do, but the group stealth has now come to an end. You are hidden, but if you move, you will have to make more stealth rolls. What would you like to do, Clyde?
Sorry, take myself off mute. I'm happy to stay where I am and shoot at Boyd's Boy 2.
Okay. Can you remember how to target?
No.
Okay.
Would appear.
No. So if you control and left click, you should be able to get him.
Control and left click. Where are we?
there you go. So you're targeting him now. And don't forget, because you are currently hidden, this is a surprise round, your first attack is going to be with advantage. So you can tick on the ADV button at the bottom of the chat and give me one of those rolls.
Oh, he...
Right, it's a good job you had advantage for some reason. I'll let you decide what. It was so close, but a hit is a hit, and the arrow flies true. Give me some damage. It's nice, heavily damaging him. He's blooded.
I also have my sneak attack, don't I?
Yes, you do. So yeah, roll us a d6 as well, and that will do additional damage 5. That makes it 12 points of damage, and that is enough as you kill him with your sneak attack. You get it because you had advantage on your attack, and very rapidly you shoot before even the rest of them can attack. You said you didn't want to move. You did your sneak attack. I don't know if you've got a bonus action you wanted to do.
Could I hide behind the banister? Is that feasible?
Not really. I mean, you could duck down behind the banister and it would give you cover, but you've just shot somebody. They kind of know that the arrow's coming from there. As I say, you could use the banister as cover quite easily, but they're kind of aware of your presence there.
Fair enough. So I'll.
Yep.
Oh, yes, I'll stay where I am for the time being.
Okay. Then we move to Defargo. I'm just going down the list here. It's all simultaneous, and then we'll roll for initiatives. What do you want to do, Defargo?
Defargo will target Boyd's Boy 1 and
Mhm.
will shoot him. Bonus action. I don't know how this works without ruining the surprise. Can you do a spell which has got verbal?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you what are you doing? You're doing Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of this is just happening so fast.
So it's simultaneous.
You've basically managed to get what's a surprise round, so it doesn't really matter what you do in order. You kind of very rapidly, as your bonus action, mark him, and then you shoot your weapon before he can act.
Okay, so there is the sound of a whippoorwill, an eerie sound of a bird which chills the blood and hopefully causes him to take more damage.
Okay.
So with an advantage, he will take a shot with his longbow.
Yep, you got advantage, which is super cool. Wow.
Which is good.
It's a natural one, but a 19, a 26, I am happy to say, is more than a critical as well. So you need to double the dice that you are rolling. I don't fancy this gentleman's chances.
So I'll do this because I didn't add Hunter's Mark. Oh, actually, if I drop those dice and leave them, I can apply that now, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think you're going to have to be very, very unlucky not to take this individual out with this magnificent critical attack.
Actually, I'll just do that, and we'll do that later because I'm not sure how that works. So this is the bow damage.
Yeah, so he's already dead, and then suddenly the extra damage goes on top, and he's really dead. So that's your bonus action. That's your attack action. You do have moves there.
So Defargo is going to go 5, jump down, recognizing he will take some damage, and it will take more of his move.
I am a great fan. It's only 10 foot. Give me an acrobatics. If you succeed high enough, then you won't hurt yourself.
Well, he attempts to fly.
Okay.
He
That is all
soars
good.
into. Is that the units have wings?
Yeah.
So I'm going to. Is that kind of where you wanted to go, sort of
He
there?
wanted to sort of be down to the south, sort of trying to head towards where the doorway is.
Okay, it's gonna
So anyway,
it's gonna be difficult because technically speaking, sort of here is the stairs going up to the shack. If you see what I
oh
mean.
right, got you. That's a solid wall.
Yeah, yeah.
Got you.
So, but you can jump down here and you've still got some movement to move around there. But that is a fail. It's not a critical fail. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the damage. Oh dear, sorry about that. That is a full 6 points of damage. But
It's a fair cop.
you're not prone. So
Right.
that if you critically failed, you would have been prone as well, which would have been embarrassing and awkward landing at the feet of these other people. But you've got the rest of your movement, should you wish it.
So that was 10,
Yeah, so 10.
15, 20. Need to move the map a bit. 25. Sorry, I'm just having to move
Yeah,
the map to see how far
that's
I can
okay.
see. Oh, that's a long way.
All
Crikey.
yeah, all of these hallways are lit up, so you can easily see along here. You don't need your dark vision, and you can see there's doors to the north and the south, and along here as well. You can hear voices kind of muttering around here, although they've not heard you yet. It seems that this is quite an extensive safe house. You
So
should go and hide behind the wall.
well, no, he looked down, saw it was a very long corridor, and thought, okay, there's nothing down there immediately.
Yeah.
He's notched another arrow, although obviously he's not going to be able to fire, and makes a shh sound at the remaining 2 people are sat at the table.
Perfect. Then still a surprise round. Pectinus, what are you going to do?
I hadn't realised we were at the top of the stairs.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, as I said, and I'm happy to retcon this, you can be anywhere upon these stairs during your stealth round. So where would you like to be?
I wouldn't have gone too far ahead.
No,
I think, but
so
maybe
you can
sort of
put yourself wherever.
this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're about 5 feet above the floor now, having gone down those stairs a little bit more.
Okay, so run in first because I couldn't actually see anyone from that corner. It turns out.
Okay.
And I think I don't know whether to shout to them to surrender, or I'm a bit nervous that would alert lots of other people in this area.
You can
that we're
give
here.
me a free insight roll. A free.
Okay.
This is just so you can judge this situation. Yeah, well, that's easily good enough. These guys are not going to surrender. You just killed 2 of their friends, and you're kind of not just in their safe house where they've probably got substantial backup, but you've got the audacity to make an attack against Mayor Boyd himself. You can see that they are vexed and angry rather than concerned.
Fair enough. In that case, knowing how poorly my attempt with Sacred Flame went against the wolves, he is going to just run up and swing. Well, no, he's still going to Sacred Flame. I don't think he's quite ready for physical violence.
Okay. So choose your target within range, and yeah, you're targeting Boyd's boy number 4, and I think you can force him to make that saving throw, and he fails.
Oh, marvelous.
Yeah, he does fail.
In that case,
So do 4 points of damage. You wound him. He is still up though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, then we move across to Dorvid. It is your surprise round.
Right. Which one did Pectinus just attack?
I believe it was number 4.
Okay. Gonna target number 3.
Okay.
And I'll cast Toll the Dead.
Again, he fails it. So he hasn't been damaged. Number 3 hasn't been damaged yet. So it's just a D8. And you nick him for that as well. Damage has gone.
Okay.
That is the surprise round gone. So I need everybody now to give me initiative rolls, please.
Could I have could I have moved as well?
Yeah, as I said, as part of the surprise round, you could have done that. That is absolutely fine.
Thank you.
And it's just initiative for you, David. It looks like everybody's doing better than them. Absolutely. This is not going well for them. You see that they are a bit going to try and raise the alarm, though, but I know when they're going to do that, so it's just whether you can dispatch them before they have that chance. So on initiative 18, it is you, Clyde. What are you going to do?
I am going to attack number 4
Okay,
as he's the nearest to the door.
perfect. Wow. What can I say? You don't get sneak attack, but according to the homebrew rules, that's beyond 10 more than what you needed. So this is definitely a critical hit. Do you know how to add an extra dice to your roll?
No.
Okay, so if you left click on your damage, the one that you would just click once and start dragging it, it pulls a dice out of your damage. If you then right click while you're holding it, it adds an extra dice, and then you can just roll it in the tray.
Well, I didn't want to add one, so
Did you right click it when you were dragging it?
I thought I did, yes.
You'll see. Try it again. You killed him with your first attack anyway. So left click on the damage, drag it, and then if you right click, it will actually, whilst you're holding it down, it will actually, you'll see a dice appear. It's a useful technique. But you kill him. Boom. Dead. Is there anything else you want to do, Clyde?
Yes, having seen Defargo's rather cool Starsky and Hutch action, I shall attempt to do the same.
Okay, so give me an
and
athletics.
come down here.
Yep. Athletics. You must be good at this. You're a rogue.
Well, I'm nominally good at it, but I imagine Defargo was too. Oh, you see.
It's because we're not rolling over the top of cars. If we were doing that, we'd be fine.
I love the fact that the floors cause both of you more damage than any of the guards. Oh wow. People in chat can see this.
Is this another 6?
No, it's a 1. I've got a 1 for you and a 6 for Defargo. But again, it's not a critical fail, so you're not flat on your face. But you fall awkwardly, taking a little bit of damage.
So is this a crate that I'm currently behind?
Yeah, there just seems to be all sorts of bits and pieces here.
So can I use my bonus action to attempt to hide?
Yeah, if you kind of, just for my own sort of OCD, you can kind of duck down there and certainly attempt to hide from there.
Fair enough.
Boyd's boy number 3 is a little bit kind of like, sort of like, he sees you jump down and then he's distracted by the 2 halflings running at him and everything. And it gives you that scant moment of ducking down, and a 21 is easily enough to find a new hidey hole to hide in, basically. You're currently hidden from him. It doesn't mean that other people coming from different directions might not notice you, but we'll come to that later on. He's still not gave the sound of the alarm yet, due to the fact that you're all acting a little bit fast. So, DeFago.
So DeFago will stare at him,
Mhm.
making cutting a gesture across his throat, down his sternum, and then some messy lines across his guts, and pass the hunter's mark on to him.
Okay. Very
As a leather worker, he can do that quite accurately.
Yeah.
And he will attempt to hit.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, never mind.
never mind. Yeah. Are you happy with that? Do we have any re-rolls or anything?
No.
If
fine.
not, we move to Dorvid. Still no sound, but you get the feeling he's kind of got his voice in his throat now. He's just about to shout out, because initiative 14 is when he's going to shout out. So you need to silence him, Dorvid, or he's going to give the game away.
I'm gonna cast guiding bolt at him.
Okay. You just hit, but it is a hit.
Oh,
And that is enough to take him down just before he managed to give the call out. Well done.
start him across the wall.
Yeah. You do notice there are a scant number of coins on the table. It looks like they were maybe playing a game of dice or something. If you wanted to go to there, you see there's a door to the north and a door to the south, and you've definitely seen this very long corridor to the east. You are now out of initiatives. If you're going across the table to check out the coins, I will stick it into the party sheet for you.
I'd like to just go around and close the eyes and say a little prayer over each of the corpses.
Yep, no worries.
Pectinus definitely looks a little uncomfortable with what they've just done.
Yeah,
He accepts the necessity, but he's not happy.
no, totally. There is a stain on your humanity. You see that there's scant coins there. There's like 11 silver pieces and 51 copper pieces. If you want to gather those up, we can say that they are in your party sheet at the moment. That is not a problem. You know, though, that you have not a huge amount of time to investigate this place before perhaps you are discovered. Where would you like to continue? You are out of initiatives now, and you can obviously talk both in and out of character should you wish to.
What are the guards equipped with, Andy?
That is a very good question. It's very basic equipment. They've got. I'll tell you exactly what. They've got basic leather armor, sort of scraps of it, and they've got sort of short swords and light crossbows.
Should we check them for keys?
That's a good call.
Okay, this eats into a little bit of your time, but you kind of search each one, and there's no keys on them.
Okay.
You know that the door out of here wasn't locked. These are just grunts, guards, just boys. But there's something more about this place. You know, it looks like it is the foundations of a much bigger building that was here on the surface. That has obviously fallen in ruin. A safe house that you were unaware of until now. Maybe most people in Hope are also.
I'm going to relieve one of them of a crossbow, Andy.
Okay.
And I was going to poke my head round the door that Defaga and I are nearest to quietly, just to see.
Okay, that's
what's
not
there.
that's you move down. That's a corridor that's there. and you can see that corridor there.
However, Defargo will sort of
Oh,
tap
yeah.
you on the shoulder and point at the door to the south and cup a hand around his imaginary ear and point towards it. Then at himself, at his eyes, and point down the corridor, perhaps suggesting he'll keep watch here if people want to go listen at doors.
Fair enough. I shall take the hint and head over to the door to the south.
Okay.
I'll check it out. I'll give you guidance.
Okay, so I've put light crossbow and crossbow bolt into the party sheet as well as you. They're not in the best of
Excellent.
condition, but it's there for you should you wish to. You move quietly towards this door, and once again, how does the divine energy flow from your god through you to Clyde to allow him to investigate or perhaps listen at this door?
So put like I think it's to my forehead and right down the front of my mask, and lightly tap Clyde on the hand.
Okay,
Uh,
so
yeah.
yep, give us a perception roll if that's what. If you're looking to see whether the door's trapped, it's investigation. If you're looking to or sort of listening at the door to see if you can hear anything from within the room, that's perception.
Well, initially, I'm just going to listen
Yep.
without putting any of my eyeballs near any keyholes.
Oh, damn you. Ah, look at that. The door itself is quite thick, but you can hear movement from within. There's a sort of rough kind of voice singing, and you can hear. You can hear something maybe being hacked or chopped. It's
Do
certainly
I
the sound.
recognise?
It's the sound of like a blade against flesh.
Do I recognise the voice at all?
No.
I'll retreat back and whisper this to everyone else.
hmm It was just a single voice in there, though. It didn't sound like there was anybody else in there.
Defargo will point to the door to the north and make the same gesture, and again indicate that he'll keep an eye here.
Mm.
I think Defargo is going to have to buy me some more shoes soon.
It's getting you to do all of the work. You move all the way up there, and same thing again, basically. Or rather, give me the same roll. You don't necessarily get the same information because that would be freaky. You listen through this door, and you can't hear anything. It sounds silent. There's no sound there at all.
I shall retreat all the way back
hmm
and let everybody know this.
Well, if that room has, you said it sounded like blades scraping against flesh.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps someone preparing their next husk?
That's a lovely thought, isn't it? So can I
Certainly someone that needs to be dealt with.
Can I investigate the
Mm.
door for any sort of traps or
Yep.
locks?
Give me an investigation roll.
It's got to be a bad one sometime soon.
Doesn't look trapped. It looks like a normal door. There's not really even a keyhole in. There's kind of like a wooden latch type thing that can be operated. Like it's kind of operates from both sides of the door, just to stop the door sort of moving and banging and stuff like that. But yeah, Doesn't look locked, doesn't look trapped.
I will suggest quietly that everybody assumes their favoured positions. And I shall carefully unlatch the door.
That sounds good. Okay, so the great thing about this is the door's actually open as well. If you zoom in and hover your cursor over the door, you can see it says closed. If you left click, it will open up. Look at that. You see with his back to you quite a large man that is hacking up a large side of meat. You can see that there is a big cauldron to one side, bubbling away, and the smell of food is coming out of the cauldron. And to a different side, you can see an unbelievably large cake, multiple tiered, but this cake standing a good maybe 5 feet high. And as you throw the door open, he kind of just cricks his shoulder a little bit and turns to see what's going on. And he looks at you. And
I've just seen his name, so I'm slightly worried now.
Yeah, he's just a cook. And he kind of looks past you and sees the bodies of his comrades. And I think we will go to initiatives.
Oh,
That's better.
Wow, your rolls tonight have been excellent. It seems that even Casey here is he's slow. He turns, he pulls a big sort of meat cleaver and a shorter kind of cooking knife in the hand, and he prepares himself. But we go straight to DeFago.
It's far less sinister the noise he makes as he sort of looks at the size of the person. So it's still trying to make a ooh noise, but more sort of when your mouth is dry and it's like.
Perfect.
And he moves the hunter's mark onto the mountain of a man that stands happily 50 foot away from him.
He looks like he's skilled in multiple sets of martial arts. Probably upset the mayor and has been demoted to the cook or something like that.
Yeah, I liked the big cake. So Mandifago will fire his longbow.
Oh, why won't you let me have my fun? I think that might be a crit. Yeah, that might well be. His armor class is 15, so that's a critical hit.
So we'll do this one first, and it does it automatically.
Yeah, it does.
There you go.
18 points of damage, but he is just the cook and he's not even bloodied with that huge amount of damage that could have easily murdered any of you, apart from maybe you, DeFago. Anything else you want to do?
Apart from sort of looking at checking his arrows, because he thought that was a really good shot.
It was a good shot. It's just made him angry.
He will just keep an eye down the corridor. Try not to look at this person who's still standing, because he doesn't like that.
Then we move to Pectinus.
Pectinus looks up and he says, "Oh, you're big." And he says, "You might want to step back a bit, Clyde." And then he will just stand in the doorway.
Wow.
He's going to put his shield in front of him and just a second. He is going to cast Sanctuary on himself.
Oh, God, yeah. Tactics. I love it. It's cool. Okay, so he's got to now.
I think that's a bonus action.
Quite possibly. Let us. I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Yeah. So bonus action,
Uh,
cast Sanctuary. Now, you might want to do this in a different order if you are planning to make an attack roll.
I am not.
No.
I
Okay.
am planning to dodge.
Oh, look at you stacking all of the defenses upon you. Nicely done. Okay. Is that?
Although thematically, I think rather than dodging, he's more planning to just bat attacks away with his shield.
Yeah. Cinematically, that sounds absolutely. You're kind of blocking the door, making it extra difficult. And then we move to Dorvid.
Right. Let's see what I want to do. First of all, I'll target this fella.
Hmm.
Control on deck.
Yeah, you might want to detarget Clyde if you're doing anything dangerous because you're currently
Okay.
targeting him as well. But yeah, you've now can see him.
Move up and put up my shield as well. I'll cast Toll the Dead.
Okay, sounds good. Force him to make a save. He fails and he has been damaged. So this is a D12 this time.
Oh.
Okay. And with that, we then move to you, Clyde.
I will go back and leap onto the table so I can see over the top of the sea of halflings.
Yeah.
And I'll see if my new crossbow works.
Woohoo!
I say new, it's not really new. Where are we?
So that unfortunately is a miss with a 14 by only one, but it is a miss.
Well, I'm still getting my iron.
Yeah, that's okay.
Too high up on that table. That's the problem.
Now this
Yeah, that'll be it.
This is where we have some fun. Okay, so you are under the condition of sanctuary at the moment, which I believe if he's going to make aggressive actions to you, he needs to make a wisdom saving throw, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to try and do that first, which is a 14.
I think that will save, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 13.
okay, so he then moves 5, 10, 15, 20 up to you. And he just looks at you. He is going to attempt to knock you prone. So he's in effect shoving you, which is going to be a strength athletics check from him. And it can be opposed from either a strength athletics check from you, or it can be a dexterity acrobatics check.
Okay, they're both really good.
Yeah, he's middling. He's only got a 13. Yeah, that unfortunately for you is only a 4. So he kind of runs forward and in the style of like a special ops person that's demoted to cook, kind of knocks the legs underneath you and you just fall prone at his feet. With that, it's like this is practiced. He has another couple of attacks. He's going to take his second attack against you as you are on the floor and you are prone. So he gets an advantage on this attack as he brings the chopper down heavily upon you.
But just to check, does he still get disadvantage because I am taking the dodge action, or do I lose that from getting knocked over?
That is a very good question. I'm going to still say that you are ducking and diving. So yes, your dodge action is still there. So it would have been a straight roll, but it missed anyway. So his first attack, his second attack missed. He does have a cooking knife in his offhand, and he can make basically a dagger attack as well against you. It will be a straight roll
I think
rather
he does have to make a wisdom save each time as well. I suppose no, it's any creature, so I suppose
I think
with an attack.
he's
I assume
now.
once he saves once, he's fine.
Yeah, I can double read it again, but I'm pretty sure once they've saved from
I
it.
think you're right. It's a bit ambiguous, so
Yeah.
I'm happy with that being the way.
Basically, it says on a failed save, the creature must choose the new target or lose the spell or attack. But until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or do harm must first make a wisdom saving throw. I've got a feeling once he's made it, he's made it. But I mean that's a very good question, and I wouldn't mind getting the answer to that at some point.
For now, I'm happy with it just being he makes it, but I think next turn he would need to
probably
it
make it
wouldn't
again unless he stabs you badly and you drop concentration on it.
Yeah. It's not concentration.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been wanting to use this in every fight we've had.
Yeah, no, it's super good. I'm genuinely, I don't want to get into sort of rules lawyer at the moment, but I mean, it would be incredibly strong if against multi-attack creatures. That would be absolutely amazing, and I'm quite excited to find out the answer. But in the meantime, he's going to knife you. Or attempt to, but I'm going to say that you're kind of still dodging, so you're rolling around as he's desperately trying to knife you with this cooking knife, so it's just going to be a straight attack. And that is a miss as well. So, yeah, he's not done a very good job there. And then we move to the top again. It's Defago.
Yeah, Defago will do some more of that, please.
Yeah.
And shoot again while keeping half an eye on the rest of the really long corridor.
Should have really gave him levels in Monk as well.
Just so we can throw them back at me.
Yeah, but he hasn't, so don't worry. You just hit, but that's all you need to do. Very nice, and he's now heavily damaged. Lovely job. And then we move to you, Pectinus. Oh yeah, the downside for Sanctuary, of course, is as soon as you make an attack roll, it disappears, doesn't it? That's the balancing factor with it.
Yeah. So now I'm toying between just dodging again. I mean, I think first I stand up.
Yep.
With my shield above my head as I try to get back up.
Cheers, Konami. Konami in chat, just so you know, has done a little bit of search for it, and it seems that each attack is actually subject to it. So that's absolutely beautiful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm really tempted to just dodge again.
It's wonderful, you know.
I mean, let's be honest. This is the only time I can try it where you won't have seen it coming. So
yeah. No.
This is the one encounter where it's a safe bet.
And you're doing it against Casey Ryback. How cool is that? You're going face to face, dancing around with him. But it's up to you. Dodge action. Yeah.
Yeah, for now, I don't want to use all my spells, and the only things I have that aren't attacks are spells now.
Yeah.
So
this seems to be quite strong, blocking the door. This is Sparta. Lovely job. We move to Dorvid.
Right. She's right in our face.
He is indeed. All right, you. Oh, thank you for presenting yourself.
Oh, David.
You know what? I cast Emphatic Wounds on him.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. It's a powerful one. Give me an attack. You're targeting him. This is gonna sting if you can land this blow.
Obviously, I do.
Oh my lord! It's not quite a critical hit, which I'm pleased about because that would have been 60-10. But that's still a lot of damage as you heavily damage him now. He does not like that at all. Is that your go?
That's my go.
Cool.
Got my shield up.
Yep, and then we move to Clyde.
I shall once again attempt to fire over the hobbits. Sorry, the halflings.
What's your tongue, young man?
The advantage here now, Clyde, is you've got
get to
allies.
use my
Yeah,
sneak
you've got
attack.
allies in there as well, which is good.
I still have to hit him, which was the problem last time.
Yeah. I mean, there is that, but that is a hit. And you do get a D6 on top of that as well. Wow, so that's 2 there. So he's in a bad state, but he is going to get an opportunity to swing back. And he now, unfortunately, thanks to David, got someone that he can attack without wisdom saves and without disadvantage. So he's going to do exactly the same to you that he did to your brotherly friend. Is first of all going to try and knock you down to the ground. So this is going to be a strength athletics check. You can use dexterity acrobatics. I've rolled terribly there. I've only got a 10.
Strength athletics.
You can use athletics or acrobatics. So yeah, you've matched it with a 10, which means it goes to you. It's you needed to equal or beat the skill check to stop it from happening. He's just angry about that and is going to then just attack you with his cleaver. Wow, and miss, and then try and stab you up with his knife, and the kitchen knife does actually catch you. And it does indeed do you 6 points of damage, but that was a terrible round for him as well. Okay. So, Defargo, it is your go.
Right. Defargo will target him. And
Yep, you hit. And you take Casey right back down as he falls to the ground. You rapidly dealt with him as well. There's things to sort of look at in the kitchen area, but once again, this complex falls silent for the moment. Considering the time, this is the perfect place to stop. As next chapter, you will continue to explore Boyd's safe house. Excellent stuff. That was some beautiful play there. You've done very well to crack the doors open of this place and get in here without the alarm being alerted. Beautifully played. Well done, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's hung out in chat Thanks for helping us out with the rules there. I'm going to definitely have a look at that sanctuary stuff. It's very good. As I say, I forgot that the downside is that you can't then make an attack without it dropping. But that was some great tactics and very in character as well, which I doubly enjoy. So for now, I'm going to say good night to everybody. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to do Peerless, and we're going to be looking at sort of theory crafting, building a fighter with sort of multi-classing and what we can kind of do to make the champion the fighter class that has got the bigger critical range effective, because it's considered to be one of the weaker fighter choices, and it'd be quite nice to try and spice it up a bit. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Stay safe and take care, and we will catch you all very soon.
Oh, see you in a bit.